So today I'm going to be demonstrating different ways you can cut metal. Every once in a while I come upon a situation where I need to cut metal, so I wanted to go over it in a video. Before I do, if you could please like and subscribe and share the video. It sure does help me to make more videos.
And remember, anytime you're using power tools, especially when you're cutting metal, make sure you got this protective eye gear on. I got these from Milwaukee. They're really good and they don't fog up.
So first off, we have this piece of aluminum which got crimped. It was on one of these wind designs out here, these wind features. So this is just aluminum. So normally when I cut this, I'm going to cut with my hand cutter because I get more of a precise cut. Okay? Or you can use your Sawzall with the soft metal blade or the medium blade, and that will also cut it. That cuts it real quick, but it's not really that clean of a cut. That's usually why I cut it by hand. I use this a lot for plumbing inside. Like this tool right here, I got copper and brass on here. This tool, that'll cut real quick through there. But again, you really got to work hard to get a straight cut. So if you're using that, you got to be careful. They also have a longer blade for your bigger pipes. Your Sawzall, they make a demolition blade. I recommend this only for demolition because this blade can really hack some stuff up. So you don't want to be using this on your finer work. Now when I get into some really big stuff, I pull out the big guns. You got this flex tool from DeWalt. When you use this flex tool though, you got to use the flex battery with it. Your regular DeWalt battery will not fit on there. Okay, so make sure you have your flex battery. And this is what I use for the heavier metal. This right here is brass. So that'll cut pretty quick through your brass and your heavier metals. Now when you're cutting something really heavy, like cast iron, you're going to want to use something, and usually you're going to be cutting this cast iron inside. I did cut a 4-inch piece of waste pipe one time. You don't want to use your grinder because it throws too many sparks, and usually the cast iron is in older houses, so it's very easy to start a fire. So what you're going to want to do is pick up one of these torch blades from Milwaukee and throw it on your Sawzall. I don't have a piece of cast on me right now. I've only cut a 4-inch piece of cast one time on one job. The house was 80 years old, so I don't run into it that much. But I just wanted to demonstrate what the torch can do to metals. It started a little slow because you do have this protective paint on there, so it takes a while to wear that off, but once you get that off, it should cut pretty nicely and quickly. Cast iron, if you're cutting cast iron, I would recommend that you use some cutting oil while you're cutting, especially on a 4-inch, because it does take a while and the blade will heat up, and to conserve on your blade life, you want to use a cutting oil. That's one thing I would recommend. Also, when you're cutting your light steel, you can also use your nitrous blade with your multi-tool. That cuts light steel pretty good. A lot of times if I'm cutting under a sink or something, this will come in very handy. Also, these blades here, they have special blades for cutting this metal, so you want to make sure you get the special blade. But we found that when cutting rebar, these blades are really great. And you want to be careful because it does throw a lot of sparks. what we used to do when we were doing concrete once in a while, we would buy the sticks, the rods, 10-foot rods, and we would put them down on some plywood or, 2x6. We put them all together and then write our lines for 2 or 3 feet, whatever you want. And then we go down with the grinder, with the special metal blade, and we just cut all 6 rods all at once, everywhere we made our marks. It's very convenient and probably the best way to cut the rebar. And that's about all for today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for coming. Oh, I didn't